When it comes to integrating lifelong brain performance into your daily life, we know that this means being able to make time or take time for activities every single day. But I just want to be clear now that it is more than that. We also need to understand that this allocated time is just one aspect to consider. There's other things that you can be doing to guide your performance and guide your actions down a path that is positive and that is going to help with the changes that you need to make and the connections that you need to form in your brain. So let's talk about how those activities combined with the experiences and the environment that you put yourself in every day impact your brain performance. And I'm going to give you some practical strategies on how you can actually take control of all of these factors, because it can seem like a lot, but it doesn't have to be. It's really just about getting yourself heading in this right direction and knowing the things and being aware of the things that you need to say, not today, not today. I'm on this path. This is what I want going into my brain. All of these things are everything that I need that's important for me to be the best version of myself. So by implementing these tips, you're able to seamlessly integrate lifelong brain performance into your daily life, which is really what we want. We want those things that are going to stick around and help us get better forever and ever and ever. So this all comes back to that idea of neuroplasticity and the idea that our brains are constantly adapting and reshaping themselves based on what we're experiencing and based on what is stimulating us. And this is how we continually modify our neural connections in our brains throughout our entire life. And this happens through these activities which stimulate specific neural pathways. And it also comes from our daily experiences and our environment. So let's bring all of those together today and say, well, how do we make all of that work for us every single day? Now, think of your brain as existing in its own little environment. And that environment that your brain is in is pretty much determines how your brain performs. So positive experiences and an environment that's conducive to focus and creativity and well-being, that's like all of this good stuff going into your brain, and that optimizes your brain's functioning. We do it in the right way and it activates our reward centers and we look forward to things. This is because your brain's reward and emotional systems interact with our experiences in our surroundings, which influences our cognitive state and also our mood, which also affects our ability to perform. Now, imagine that same brain is in an environment where we're not doing any exercises to it. We might be in toxic relationships, whether it's personal, work, whether it's even social groups that we're part of that might not be the right thing, and we might be negative. There might be some stereotype things going on there, and just little different pockets of behavior that we don't want to reinforce. And that's really the key here. Whatever you practice, and by practice I mean whatever you do, is what you're going to get good at. So if you are in an environment, or if you're allowing yourself to go through experiences that really are not what you want to put up with forever, cut it out now. Cut it now and find a way around it, because right now you're practicing that behavior, which means that your brain is going to either form the neural connections to that are sort of more consequence and punishment driven, and you're going to get used to that, and you'll always use those neural pathways rather than the positive ones, or your brain is going to adapt to compensate for that. Your brain is going to try and protect you from that, and that means that it's going to put up some walls, put up some doors, and do what it can to protect you. And that means that it's not operating at its optimal functioning. We don't really want that either. So we know about allocating dedicated time, at least 10 minutes, hopefully 60 minutes a day for these brain activities, and either make the time or take the time, and treat this as an essential part of your daily routine. The second thing that I want to talk about is mindfully selecting your experiences. So this is about being conscious of the experiences that you engage in throughout the day. So choose activities that challenge and stimulate your brain, like reading and solving puzzles, but also minimize your exposure to negative or to draining experiences that can hinder your cognitive performance. Now, something that I've heard, and a way that I've heard this be misinterpreted in the past, and this actually is very popular with authentic leadership, And we know that there's some issues with authentic leadership as well. And we know that there's better options like transformational leadership. So when we talk about minimizing your exposure to negative or draining experiences, that doesn't mean cutting off everything in your life that is bad or negative. You know, you might have somebody in your life who you find quite draining to be around, and you need to find ways to I don't want you to go and just cut off relationships. I want you to work on those relationships, and I want you to make those relationships better and improve them, because we're all in this together. Those people, we need to do a little bit of perspective taking, and we need to think about, well, why are those people like that? What's going on for them in that moment that's making them act like that? Or what's happened in their past and in their whole life that's led them to the point to be this type of a person? We all start at a very similar baseline. Yes, there are genetic things at play, but really it's a lot of it is our experiences, and we can overcome these things. So don't think of this as cutting people out of your life. Think of this as how can you minimize exposure to negative or draining experiences. And just cutting people off and saying, you don't serve me, that's the lazy way. I'm going to be honest, that's the lazy way. We can do it better, and we can do it in a way where we care for people and we bring people along on our journey of brilliance with us as well, because brilliance is for everybody and we're all in this together. So how do we do that? Well, we can start off by creating a positive environment for ourselves and for others. Your physical, your digital, and your social environment significantly impact your brain performance. So make sure that your surroundings are organized and they're clutter-free and they're welcoming and they're inviting. And also that they're tailored to support concentration and productivity. But you also want to balance, when we say focus and concentration and productivity, and when we say declutter and create that environment, a lot of people automatically go to, well, I need to have this minimalized setup and everything needs to be packed away. And again, productive means that we've got the things that we need to be able to succeed. So we don't need to go and search for things a lot of the time as well. So it's not, we need to balance out this concentration and productivity and focus of an environment also with an environment that fosters belonging and that fosters safety and allows us to feel like we're comfortable in that space, not just ourselves, but other people as well. That's going to help us to foster these positive relationships and to surround yourself with people who inspire and uplift you. And that might start with you inspiring and uplifting them. But as we go through this path together, it will come back, and it's all about these roundabouts and these swings. So in order to do that, you need to proactively manage that environment. And even if you don't have complete control over your environment, there are steps that you can take to optimize it. Personalize your workspace, minimize distractions, and create designated areas for focused work or for relaxation even. You need to be able to communicate your needs and your preferences with your colleagues or your family members so that you can establish a supportive environment. And support for humans doesn't mean doing things in isolation. It's not how we're hardwired. It means doing things in a supportive environment. So make sure we've got communication with colleagues and family members. Practice mindfulness. If you are already doing this, great. If not, mindfulness exercises, which can be meditation or deep breathing, body scans, neural rhythm optimization, this can help to reduce stress, can help to improve focus and overall your well-being. Think about how you're using your technology. Leverage it to support your brain performance, to support your support your performance. Don't be a slave to it. Excessive screen time hurts our brains, so make sure that we're using it wisely. And the last thing is this: be adaptable and be flexible. Life is unpredictable. So our schedules may change and the best laid plans can go to ruin. So embrace the flexibility in your brain and in your routine as well, while maintaining consistency. Find ways to make sure we're not missing out on things. But to be honest, if you get upset because something doesn't go according to plan, it doesn't change the fact that it hasn't gone according to plan. It only impacts how you recover from that thing. So adjust your activities and adapt to these new circumstances without abandoning the commitment to allocate time and to prioritize performance. If you integrate these strategies into your life, this is how you can start to take control of those activities and those experiences and that environment so that you can actually Integrate lifelong brain performance into your daily life. It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. Brilliance, success, high performance is a lifestyle. It's who we are, it's what we do, it's how things are done around here. So remember to be mindful, remember to be proactive, and remember to be adaptable as you incorporate these strategies into your own routine. Bye now.